Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to good old Goober Talks here on streaming platforms of YouTube. And now, drum roll. Can I hear that? Oh, Spotify. Woo! My name is Justin. Across from me is...
I'm Gavin.
Welcome, Gavin.
Thanks.
Welcome back to episode 4. So, we're finally getting things going.
Mm-hmm.
We
have a month under our belt.
Yeah. So... I'm glad, for those who are listening, welcome, and thank you so much for supporting us. So we're going to talk about some things that happened today or this week, last week. Anything? Well, I got a haircut. Anything else happened?
I couldn't tell because you're wearing a hat.
Oh, yeah.
So it defeats the purpose
yeah,
of that.
people, obviously you can't see what I'm wearing right now, but I'm wearing a hat because I'm very tired. And hungover.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are you tired?
I'm very hungover right now, but we're gonna have some fun with this talk. But yeah, anything happened last week or?
Yeah, so this weekend, Avengers Endgame made $1.2 billion worldwide.
Yeah, so this little movie called Avengers Endgame came out from Marvel Studios and Disney. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. But before we get into that, we have a little sponsor. So, woot, 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 woot. A little shout out here. So we are sponsored by, and this episode is brought to you by Java Joint Drive-Thru. So Java Joint Drive-Thru is this upcoming coffee shop coming here to Davenport, Iowa. So if you're in the Davenport area, it's located on the west end of Davenport, right across from the good old fairgrounds. They are opening on May 1st. So hopefully this episode is out before then. If not, go there after May 1st and have at it. They're open 6 to 6 from Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturday, and Sunday 8 to 2. Double Punch Day and opening weekend special to be announced. So thank you so much from Java Joint Drive-Thru.
Thanks.
All right, let's talk about some stuff. Okay, so first off, we're gonna talk non-spoilers.
Yeah. We'll start off with
thoughts.
Yeah, we'll start off with Endgame non-spoilers.
Yeah,
and then we'll talk about some other stuff, and then at the end we'll go into full-on spoiler talk.
Yes.
But we will warn you. So if you haven't seen it, jump out.
We'll do a bunch of spoiler warnings. We'll even put stuff like timestamp right here if you're on YouTube.
Yeah,
Spotify.
If you're on Spotify, just leave when we tell you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sorry. So let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
Let's just Philly D, jump into it. I did not like the movie one bit.
That's what I hear from a lot of people.
I'm kidding. It is so good. And I can't get over how much I love this movie.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to like it.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to love it.
It's easily my favorite Marvel movie.
Yes.
Possibly favorite. Well, it's definitely my favorite movie of 2019.
Yeah.
Granted, we're only a few months into it, so it's still time to go. But I don't even think Star Wars at the end of the year is gonna. I know that's their finale as well, but I don't think it's gonna hold a candle to this.
Unless they put, I don't know. We'll see about that. But I agree though, because it's been 11 years worth of films and 22.
This is number 22. So yeah.
So 21 films for 21st. It's going to be a fun episode. But the 21 films beforehand just accumulated to this big event. And it was just so worth it.
Yeah, it lived up to every expectation I have. And, I went in thinking, I was like, this has to be good. It has to be the best for it, to equal the last 11 years of movies, and it totally did. It knocked it out of the park.
It was so good. Everything was just well paced. I know. So first off, I already seen reviews. People saying, "Oh, what was that mean?" It's just saying that the movie is just very slow burny. It's just a very slow burn. No. Everything's really just takes a while for things to pick up. I totally disagree with that.
I didn't get that at all.
No, I was the whole time. Yes, there was a lot of talking, but they had to deal with some stuff that happened. You can't just go straight into let's go fight and stuff. But that's not a spoiler. But it's just there's just a lot of it has to they have to wrap up character arcs, and just tie everything together and make it just work. And just if you don't like that, then you don't like it. I don't know what you're getting out of these films. In my opinion. And
it kicked off immediately. There's a scene right at the beginning before even the opening credits where. I'm not going to say what it is, obviously, but it wasn't a shock to anyone. Like everyone knew that was happening, but the way they did it was pretty cool.
I like
and then like I don't think this is a spoiler, but all the trailer scenes we've seen are in the first like 10, 20 minutes,
15,
give or take.
Yeah.
And like everything after that is just brand new stuff.
Yeah.
And there was the only moment I can think of where it felt a little slow was just when they were explaining their plan.
Yeah.
Just because like they talk about the Infinity Stones, and most people that have seen all the movies already know about them, so that's the only part. But if you don't, like, if you're one of the weird people that this is your first Marvel movie, or like you didn't pay attention, then it's an important scene for you.
Yeah.
Everyone else, that's the time to go use the bathroom, because it's everything after that is like super important. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and I like how they marketed this film as like something else, and like they didn't show anything.
Oh yeah,
for like the 2.5 hours they didn't show in the trailers, which is great. Because they're granted, not all of it is the first 15 minutes. There's a couple shots which they even admitted like, oh, they're from like later movies.
They changed it in the trailer.
They did.
So yeah, because like there's I know you talked about one last week where you thought it wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yeah.
But for like different reasons, kind of.
Yep.
And yeah, I thought that was cool. And then there's a shot in the trailer where they CGI'd something to be different than it was in the movie, which in the trailer, thinking back, I don't think it would have given it away, but it would have been very, like, people would have been speculating a lot on that. So it's good that they changed it.
I'm glad. There's a lot of things. And honestly, I feel like the non-spoiler part is going to be not as long as the spoiler part, because we can't talk about anything.
No, definitely. Yeah.
So
this will be like
I do apologize to the
most.
people who haven't seen it and are listening to this. But like, well, first off, if you haven't seen it, don't watch any reviews.
No,
I watched a couple and they were like very vague, and I was happy about that.
Yeah, don't look at reviews. Don't go to YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Don't look at any, because if
Don't go to anything.
yeah, if there's any, like, there are a ton of things that can be spoiled for you in this.
Yeah.
And if any of it is, you'll still love the movie, but
Yeah.
it just, the cool part sitting in the theater with all the other people that had no idea what was going on was just everyone's reactions. And there's one specific moment in the movie that I've been waiting for since, I'm not going to say when, because that might be a spoiler, but since a previous movie, I've been waiting for it to happen, and it finally happened.
I want to know what that is.
Yeah, and it's the first time I ever audibly cheered in a movie.
Yeah.
And it was so good, because it was like, it happened, like,
Yeah.
it leads up to it, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And then it happens, it shows it.
I think I have an idea what you're talking about.
And I just went, woo!
Yeah.
Just like that. And like the entire row to my right was all freaking out.
Oh, dude, well, okay, first off, let me explain how the mindset and the situation I was in when I watched this movie. So first off, it's sold out.
Oh, yeah.
As can be.
Yeah, right off the bat.
But I had Bundy behind me, and me and Tali in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then to my left was this piece of shit who was like, yeah, I went to the premiere. I already know how the movie ends. Blah, 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 all this stuff.
Punch him in the face?
I wanted to. He's like, he was talking to his buddy, and he was like, hey, man, I should just tell everybody who dies in this film. And I'm just like, I'm going to beat the shit out of
Yeah.
you. Like, I was very not in a good mindset. And this is before any of the previews started.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to strangle this person more than anything, because he was talking to Tali, and he was like, yeah, we made like a large donation, so Disney just sent us out to California to do it. I'm like, okay.
Why are you here then?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, why are you here? Like,
Yeah. If you're
you've
that
seen
rich,
it.
why are you sitting in a theater in Iowa?
Exactly. And I don't mean to backtalk like anybody, but he was.
I do.
He was from Bettendorf, and he kept bragging about like, oh, we're in Bettendorf, this and that, and then they would talk about like Disney stuff, and they're APs, and APs, if you know anything about Disney people, is that they're the worst. They're the worst people. That means, well, if they're from like different areas, not California or Florida where the parks are. So do you know what AP is? Sorry, annual pass holder.
Okay.
So they can go there whenever. But there's a lot of people here in like the Midwest and stuff that go to Disney World a lot,
And they just go whenever they want.
Yes, so they're entitled people. So, side tangent. That made me very mad the whole time. I was like, oh, they're gonna ruin the movie. Granted, they shut up once the movie started, and I was very thankful for that. And then I had some kids to the right of us who just kept coughing the whole time.
Oh.
And he was like, 15, 16. So he was aware that he probably should have brought like a cough drop or something.
Or gotten some water or
But
something.
I honestly think they're all together, and we just got seats in between all of them. And I was like, what the hell? So it didn't ruin the movie experience, but it made me frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I was like just wanting to enjoy this movie, which I did, because when things started picking up, they were both, I tuned them out.
Yeah,
so
you just
it was-
cancel them out.
Yep. So
I got lucky in my seat. I didn't have anyone spoil, like even in the theater walking through like concessions and that, nobody talked about it or anything,
Same.
so it was good.
very glad.
Yeah.
Again, that guy didn't open his mouth about specifics.
Yeah.
But, ugh.
So I had my girlfriend on the left of me, and then to the right of me was a group of, I don't know, maybe like 16, 17-year-olds, like the 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
So they weren't young, but they weren't like our age.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy next to me was bawling his eyes out during various scenes.
Yeah.
And because I didn't cry or whatever. I got a little choked up,
Yeah.
like in certain parts. But so my girlfriend to the left of me, she was crying, but not like super audible. It's just the sniffles. And I leaned over. I'm like, "Are you crying?" She goes, "Yeah." And then the guy to the right of me was like. I'm just like, dude, stop. I'm like, come on. Like it was funny at first, and then when I realized what he was doing, I'm like, dude, pull it together, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
like I get, and it wasn't even like the really sad scene.
Yeah.
It was like earlier in the movie, like
little things.
no spoilers, but certain characters meet up, and it's a very
Yeah.
emotional scene. It's like that's what he was bawling about.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, that, and then to make it even worse, the kid next to me who was coughing did not care.
Oh,
He was
that makes
like,
it worse.
That's like, what are you doing here then? I know, like, it's the first showing in IMAX and yada yada yada. Everyone wants to get a hot ticket kind of a thing, but like, why?
Yeah.
Don't come if you don't want to see this. Get out.
Yeah.
Because I'm cheering. I'm being a little girl over here, getting emotional. Talia was crying, especially at the very end, because we'll go into that.
Yeah.
But that, and then the guy who was a douche, his daughter the whole time be like, "Aw," out loud, and I'm just like, please stop, just shut up. Like, you can get excited for certain things. I don't know, I sound like a douche as well, like a pretentious person, but I'm like, you can get excited about certain things, but like little tiny things, just shut up. Just let everyone enjoy this moment, especially when there's not a lot of like music and just soft dialogue going. You know what I mean? Just shut up. So, anywho, before we go into spoilers, because I think we should just go into spoilers because
Yeah. Do we want to talk about anything else before that, or just go right into it?
we'll go right into what would you give it for the people who are tuning out? Like, would you give it like a grade or anything?
Oh
since
yeah.
we're doing a
So
review?
yeah, if you have seen the Marvel movies leading up to this point, even if you haven't seen some of the smaller ones like Thor 2 or like Captain Marvel, there's one. My only issue, which isn't even really an issue, is you have to see Captain Marvel, at least the end credit scene, to get the first chunk of this movie, or like the first 5 minutes, which I think most people can put that together even if you haven't seen it, but it just makes more sense if you have.
Yeah.
That's the only like negative I have. But yeah, I would definitely give it like at least 9.5 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. Like there are a couple issues I do have with it, but they're so small and they don't change like my opinion of the movie at all.
Yeah. I don't do this that often. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. I
get
love this movie. And it's not even like the fighting stuff. It's just the emotional connection and them getting that right. It's the writing, the pacing. I can overlook little tiny things, which we'll talk about in spoilers.
Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't ruin the movie at all. It makes it, it's just so damn good. All right. So right now it is about what time frame here? Like
probably around 14 minutes.
14 and a half, 15. Well, yeah, 14. Yeah, 14.
14.
So 14 minutes. We are talking spoilers. So spoiler warning. Get Out. Not the movie. Great movie as well.
Yeah.
So just get out. Don't listen to this if you don't want anything spoiled for you. So 3, 2, 1, go, Gavin.
Man, it sucks. Like, so again, spoilers.
Yeah, we're talking about the ending.
Iron Man. It's so sad.
It's so good.
No, like I totally agree. It was the perfect out.
Yeah.
It's the perfect death for him.
Yep.
We're talking Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Tony Stark is dead.
Yeah, it's
Dunzo.
like the absolute perfect way for him to go. And
you know what? LaShawn McCoy ruined it. He tweeted like, "Oh, why do they have to kill Tony Stark?"
oh, did he?
Yeah.
I just stayed off
Like,
Twitter.
what
so
an
I didn't-
idiot. Anywho, go on. Yeah.
No, yeah. So, yeah, I know last week we talked about like predictions. I think I nailed it with that one. And with Cap's kind of. It was a little bit different.
Well, I think we both said the whole Cap going back in time.
Yeah.
Thing. I saw that coming, it's a good send off for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, I kind of saw it coming in the movie when they went back to the 70s and he grabbed like the 4 Pym particle vials or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's planning to go back. And then at the very end, when he did go back, and Bucky was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you," it's like, he knows what's actually going on.
Exactly. Bucky was okay with it, I think.
Oh yeah,
because Bucky knows.
I think everyone was okay with it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start off with just my gripes about it, just to get those out of the way, because they're so small. I think they had the Fat Thor joke go on a little too long.
Yeah.
I get what they were doing, but I think they just dug into him being a comedy role a little too much.
Yeah.
And then the rat that saved the universe, like that was kind of a cop out.
It was Remy.
Yeah.
From Ratatouille.
Yeah. But everything after that, and you know, besides that, that's fine.
Well, with the Thor thing, I guess one of my main complaints is that as his character, which a lot of people are gonna say this is a bad thing. First off, just how they made him, like, because his whole arc in Infinity War is, you know,
losing everyone,
and then, you know, regaining that and being able to take it, like, just step up in the situation. And I felt like he kind of went backwards. Where, yes, he failed, and I get that. And that's why I don't really necessarily consider it a big gripe by any means. But, you know, because after he didn't kill Thanos, then he went and wallowed about it, and it's which, granted, that's one of my favorite scenes ever is when we see Korg and Meek
playing Fortnite. Yeah,
I don't know why, but I'm like, I could watch that for an hour.
Yeah, that was funny. What I thought you were about to say after you said Thor didn't kill Thanos is when Thor killed Thanos.
Yeah,
that was so unexpected.
I don't know if I talked about it last week, but I was like, I could see them, you know, going and stopping Thanos, even killing him.
I think you did,
and then going
right
back
away.
Yeah. So
it's
I was like, they did it.
Yeah, like the way they killed, he was just talking. You know, he's basically mid conversation, and Thor just walks up and slashes his head off, and I'm just like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, damn,
they did it.
They just went all out, and then he's like, told you I'd go for the head, and flies off or whatever, leaves. So that was a thing.
I liked it. I liked how they did that. I just, everything about it I loved, and the whole time I was into it. And another thing is that they keep talking about, or they hyped up Captain Marvel, and she's like not in the movie at all, which I'm okay with, because we're focusing on the OG Avengers. But she just felt like not like a plot device, but just I can't think of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think knowing her character, I do like her more in this movie than I did in her own movie.
Exactly.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, because she's only, I think she has 5 minutes of screen time max, maybe.
But even then.
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I like her character in this just because she did show her power, but they didn't overuse her.
Exactly.
So knowing her character, how she's like a galaxy or a universe wide hero, it does make sense why she leaves Earth at the beginning, because she just full on says, she's like, you know, other planets are dealing with what you guys are dealing with, and then she leaves, comes back when Thanos and his army are on Earth. My favorite bit with her was when she's fighting Thanos, he headbutts her and she just stands there, doesn't even flinch. I'm like, ooh. But then she didn't really do much after that, but that's fine. Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is good.
Loved when we'll go back to the
we'll jump around.
Yeah, we'll
just
jump
like they did.
Yeah, literally. And so I like when she's trying to get the gauntlet from Peter, and then she gets punched or something, and then I don't know who initially says it. I think it might be a Okoye, but she's like, she's not alone, and all of the women character come out, and I was like, yes, I need this.
I liked that. I did find it ironic how the first female Avenger, Black Widow, was not part of that, because I mean, so she died. I liked her death because it was like a roller coaster of emotions during that scene, because her and Hawkeye were going back and forth, and it was a legitimate.
I knew it was going to be her the whole time.
Okay, yeah, it was a legitimate moment where I didn't know which one it was going to be, because I could see either because of Hawkeye's character, and then he's like, you know what I've done, how he's been an assassin,
and I think
for the last 5 years.
I think that was a good point for them. Okay, well, he's not going to die then, and then he wants to see his family again.
Yeah,
she doesn't really have necessarily something to go back to. It's her way of maybe viewing how she can help with, for them actually failing.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was. I wish it was there.
Yeah,
it would have been cool.
But yeah, all the other lineup of female Marvel heroes were all there, and
so cool.
Yeah, it only took me half a second to figure out what they were doing, because I think it was like Captain Marvel, and then Okoye, and then I don't remember who was next. I don't know if it was Wasp
Rescue?
or like whoever else came next.
Potts, yeah.
Oh yeah. And then I'm like, oh, is this what they're doing? And then they all started showing up, and it was just a full line of them. I'm like, and then they like actually had like a 20-second just them fight sequence.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Everything about that last battle was so damn cool.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't. Well, so initially with the actual when they're the three of them were fighting Thanos, and then his army came, I was like, where the hell is this gonna go? Like, I have no idea. And I was like, well, they can bring characters back, but how? And I'm like, I'm a little confused on that. I don't know. So when Hulk did the snap, did that bring all of those people back initially?
Yes, that brought everyone that got snapped back.
Okay.
5 years previous.
Okay.
Or before,
so I was like, I'm so confused. And then I was like, oh, that makes more sense. Because then when I love the line is like on your left. I was like, oh,
that was so good.
Damn callbacks.
Yeah, and there were so many callbacks, and
so
each
good.
one of, like when Cap is fighting Cap, and he's like, I could do this all day. He goes, I know. He's just done with it.
That's America's ass. That's so
that is
good. I just love the banter with just like with Scott, Cap, and Tony when they went back in time and did their bit. I like that grouping sorts.
Yep.
That was so cool to see the OG Avengers moment and just
so
many cameos.
So yeah, I was talking about that. So obviously they just probably just ripped the footage from Avengers 1 with like the circling shot and all that, which I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, it's cheap.
what I was wondering, because there's like 1,000 different ways they could have done this, was all the alternate shots from those sets. Like I'm wondering, like, did they plan this that far back and shoot those from other angles, or did they spend the time and money in this film to recreate that set, get all the actors? That's what I figured. Because I mean, they got the Disney.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they got Disney money, so it's not like they would have. It would have been hard. I know they filmed it all at once, but I'd be pissed if I was like Tom Hiddleston and be like, hey, we're bringing you back for this last big film, but you're just going to be recreating stuff you already did.
Pretty much.
But
which again, with that going forward, Loki has the Tesseract again.
Yes. So that's what I was going to say earlier, but I didn't want to because to talk about the Disney Plus shows and the upcoming movies, you have to get the spoilers.
Yeah.
So Black Widow's movie, obviously that's going to be a prequel because she can't come back.
I have a theory that she's stuck in the Soul Stone.
Well,
because I think the OG Gamora is still stuck in there as well.
But Hulk made it a point to say he tried to bring her back and he couldn't.
Oh,
because that was Hawkeye's conversation when they all came back was saying. So I'm guessing if you die because of that, like Gamora and Black Widow did, I'm guessing like you're permadead. Like there's no coming back.
I wonder if they'll find a way with that, especially with Guardians 3, with because they're gonna bring in Adam Warlock, and again in the comics, Adam Warlock was stuck in the Soul Stone. So I'm curious if they're gonna go somewhere that route, and them trying to get Gamora back, which
it's possible. But I do know that they called this for like up till now, they called that the Infinity Saga. So I'm pretty sure they're done with the stones, unless they just use it as reference points
or a callback of some sort.
But I don't think there's going to be any more stone usage or anything like that.
Which I'm okay with. It's different stuff.
Yeah. So Loki, I'm excited for his show now because now it's like old Loki's just going to be causing havoc all over the place.
I'd watch it. You got me.
Yeah. So the Falcon, which I'm hoping they change the name now, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, he's now Captain America.
Yep.
So it's like that's where they're going with that. That'll be cool.
Yep.
And then WandaVision, I'm guessing so I just rewatched Infinity War, and there's a 2-year gap between Civil War and Infinity War. So I'm guessing WandaVision is going to be within that 2 years.
Yeah.
Because that's when they kind of go on the run and stuff.
Asked Elizabeth Olsen about it. She's like, oh, it's going to have like, I don't know if she said either it's going to be set in the 50s or it's going to have the 50s like kind of feel to it.
Weird.
I feel like it was more of along the lines of it's going to have that 50s feel to it.
Like the style of show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Vision didn't come back. He's dead.
Nope. Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Yeah, he's dead. Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow.
Gamora.
And present day or future Loki. He didn't come back, so which is sad, but we still have old Loki, so that kind of helps with that. So yeah, Iron Man, Gamora, Black Widow, Loki, and Vision are all dead.
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 And Tony. I think it was perfect way to go for Tony to die.
Oh,
though.
absolutely. He sacrificed himself to save the entire universe.
Yep.
And I think that's...
And it started with him, and I liked how they just ended it with that.
Yeah. And there's one of the movies, I don't remember if it's Iron Man 1 or one of the Avenger movies, but he talks about how he came back, or he's alive for a reason, and he doesn't know what that reason is. It's like, well, this was the reason, yeah. So, yeah, I think that was a perfect way for him to go. Like, his final words were, I am Iron Man, he snaps, and then I don't think he said anything after that. I think he was pretty much just dead at that point. He was just holding on, yeah.
But I liked how they had Rhodey say stuff, and then obviously
Spidey,
Peter,
yeah.
And then Pepper at the end.
Yeah.
Fuck Pepper. Kidding.
I don't care
No,
about Pepper. I did like her fight scene with him though. They were back to back, like flying
so
around.
Cool. Everything about it was so cool. Cause like back to the fight. So when they did the whole like that spiral started,
The
I was
portals,
like, how someone? And I was like, oh wait, that makes more sense. But like I was flipping my shit at that moment because I was just like, I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm pretty excited for it. Because, again, when Thanos got there, I was like, oh, there's going to be a snap. There's going to be something that's going to cause all this to be done. Mm-hmm. But when that happened, and then there was just everybody that you knew was out there, and then the music was going, I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. Like, I never thought they could one-up the Wakanda scene with Thor.
From Infinity War,
And then they did it.
Yeah, that scene looks just like child's play compared to this movie.
Nothing. It was the coolest, and I was just so fucking happy about it. I was living it. And then I just heard Bundy just go, fuck yeah. And I was like, yeah, because everyone was freaking their shit. Like, well, that, and then I think what you were talking about initially, when
my favorite scene in all of Marvel history.
Yes, is that Cap was able to pick up hammer.
Yes,
the hammer.
Mjolnir or whatever.
Mjolnir. I can't say it.
Mjolnir.
I like
that.
Side note, there is a interview with all the people from Ant-Man, and they're like, how do you say, what's Thor's hammer's name? Mm-hmm. And they're all guessing, and like they're trying, and then Paul Rudd's like, Jeff? But yeah, what were you gonna say about it?
So that was my absolute favorite scene. That's the only scene in a film in theaters that I've ever cheered at, because I've been waiting for that since Avengers 2 when they teased.
They hint at it.
Yeah, because like he goes to pick it up, and now I'm wondering if he could pick it up. He just
didn't want to try.
Yeah, he just decided not to because he didn't want a thing.
Yeah.
But and then so it was done perfectly too, because Thor was on the ground getting the axe Stormbreaker like crushed into his chest, and we see the hammer lift up, and you think it's just Thor causing that because he can control it.
But that was like, they're putting too much focus on this.
Exactly, and and it's like you saw it lift up, and I'm just like, well, what's happening? And then it flies, it hits Thanos, and
goes straight to Steve.
Yeah,
and he catches it.
Oh my god, yeah,
like,
but it's so perfect because like the build up to it too, because it hits Thanos and then it just stops, and then you hear that sound, that like metallic whirring sound, and it starts to go background, and it's like I just like lean forward in my seat, and then they cut to Steve, he just catches it. I'm like, yes, like finally.
All right,
and then he spins it around. Oh my god. You know he's been dreaming about that for years, because he was able to throw his shield, hit the hammer with it, like do all these moves with the combination.
So cool.
It was so good.
And that's why I was like, oh, this is just movie magic. Well, it was just cool seeing Thor have both of them, and just
that was cool too. Yeah,
shit all over the place.
I liked when Cap had Stormbreaker and Thor had the hammer, and Thor's like, "Now give me that one." They just swap.
It's so good. And then, okay, this kind of brings up another gripe, is that I wish Hulk did more in this movie. I understand he was Professor Hulk, and there was a joke. He's like, oh, I'm the Hulk.
Oh, and he like threw that motorcycle like 5 feet.
Yeah. But I wish, and granted, he might have been fighting in the battle.
We didn't see him.
I didn't see him, though. But he was back there. He was like standing, but I don't necessarily think he was actually fighting or doing anything.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
it's not a gripe. But
he only like really had one arm to work with, but still, he's the Hulk. He's
but I understand they're trying to cover a whole arc of his, like a character arc, which I understand, and I'm getting that. But it was really cool seeing, again, Steve with the hammer, because I feel like obviously the directors did the Winter Soldier, they did Civil War, so they focus a lot on Cap, and I like that. And there's it was really redeeming for Cap and Iron Man. I liked how much screen time they had in this, a lot more than Infinity War for Cap.
Yep.
I liked Hawkeye's arc.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was really cool. I thought the whole Ronin thing was really awesome. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, him having to kill or let Black Widow die. It was just...
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
It's a big moment.
But I loved the whole aspect of them going back in time. Thought that was great.
I think they pulled it off well. I was
Yeah.
I was worried initially that it was going to be kind of a cop out thing.
Yeah.
But I think the way they did it and how they brought in all the past movies, that kind of it served two purposes. It like was plot for this movie, and because it was the final movie of this saga, it wrapped up all the previous movies
Things,
nicely.
right.
Yeah, because it brought attention to like Avengers and Thor and
Well, that and I liked
Captain
when-
America and all that.
I like, again, it was more character arc stuff. I like, they were like, well, when they lost the Tesseract and they lose something else too. They got the Time Stone.
Yeah,
in
yeah. I
New
think the
York.
only one they lost was the Tesseract because Tony and Cap had to go back to the 70s to get that.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I liked how they did that because then you saw Tony talk to his dad, and of course
They
the
had a little moment.
heartbreaking
Yep.
Steve with Peggy stuff, which again, I absolutely love the ending. I think it is perfect.
Yeah.
It is perfect
I
to the
wouldn't-
brim.
yeah, I don't think there's anything I would change about it.
Nope. I think him going back in time and living his life, doing what he wanted to do, and getting that date
Yeah.
with Peggy, and obviously getting married to Peggy. Because the second I saw his ring, I was like, I'm gonna be a little bitch here in a moment. And I just loved it because Talia was like crying the whole time.
Yeah.
It's very like theory of everything kind of like that's what she was saying. She was comparing it to that and how it's very similar to that ending, and it's just very beautiful. And that's what I loved about it. It wasn't like, granted, yes, you go to these movies to watch people beat the shit out of each other, and it's great, but it's more about the characters as well. And
Oh yeah, especially this movie.
and that's why I love this movie. Infinity War's amazing too. Probably my second now. But again, Endgame is my all-time favorite MCU movie, if not all-time favorite comic book movie ever made.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there. And
Yeah,
I was just
definitely.
like, is this better than Dark Knight? Because I love The Dark Knight. And that's my favorite movie of all time. So I'm just like, I had to rewatch it.
Yeah.
To fully grasp that. But
I do wonder if people who haven't been as invested the last 10 years, how they
view it.
they like feel about it and all that, because I do think the majority of the reason why I like it so much is just because it wraps up like all these characters and it's like there's stuff we've been expecting and then stuff we wanted, and it's like this movie kind of gives us all of that.
It's fan service to the extreme, but that's okay.
For this type of movie, that's
fine.
That's kind of what you need.
Yeah. So
I was so worried. There were a couple moments I was worried that they were gonna screw everything up. Like, I'm talking in the story, not that they were gonna screw the movie up.
yeah.
When Thor was talking to his mom, I thought he was going to say something or do something and not get the stone and not come back, and then he was going to be the Peter Quill of this movie, where he screwed it up for everyone, but he didn't, luckily. And Rocket running on all fours with that thing, that was fun.
I love that. I love Rocket. Rocket's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he was good. And then there was another part when Hulk was talking to Tilda Swinton's character, whatever her the witch or the magic person.
I'm blanking on her
Yeah.
name right now. The something ancient one.
Ancient One, I think
Ancient
that's
One,
it.
I
Yeah,
think?
I knew it was
Yeah.
something one. When he was talking to her, and she's like, "I'm not going to give you the stone." And then when he said, "Doctor Strange gave it to Thanos," and she was like, "He did what?" I thought and then she said, "Oh, I made a mistake." I took that as she made a mistake about like teaching Doctor Strange, the mystic arts. And I'm like, oh, Hulk just screwed it for everyone. Like, there's not going to be a Doctor Strange now.
Yeah.
But she took it how, the audience took it how
He did it for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, it worked out.
Yep.
And then, oh man, during the very final fight, when Tony asked Doctor Strange, he's like, is this the one out of 14 million we win? He's like, I can't tell you, otherwise it won't happen. And then when they see Thanos pull the Power Stone out and then put it back in his glove, and then Tony and Doctor Strange look at each other, and Doctor Strange just holds up the one. It's like, well, this is it, man. And then Tony knew.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He did do that.
Yeah,
I was
because he's like, this is your
is
one
the one.
shot.
Yeah.
And then Tony ripped off all the stones like secretly.
that's
It was good.
so damn good. I love that movie. What's one?
I thought Captain Marvel. So when she had the Captain America moment where she was grabbing the glove, and like preventing him from closing his fist or whatever, I thought she was just gonna bust his fingers because she was like holding his like pinky and his thumb, just bending them back, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
Also, like, okay, so the Thanos back in 2014 Thanos that went and time traveled.
Yep.
Did he have a bigger army compared to the 2018 Thanos' army. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he had a ton of people, that or he didn't send a lot of people initially when they went to Wakanda. You know what I mean?
That could have been it. And it also could have been. So yeah, it was 2014 version, because I originally I thought it was pre-Avengers, so
Yeah.
before they killed like half the Chitauri army.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe he just, because he did see his his future or whatever through
Gamora.
Nebula's memory.
Yeah.
Or
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which that was kind of weird. Like, I get she was robotic, but
How are they able to connect?
yeah, like, why was she the only one with previous self's memories? Because you
Yeah.
would think that's my issue with time travel in movies, which I can completely look past it because it's all fiction. Like,
Yep.
I get that.
It's whatever.
But like, if they're gonna do that to one character, you can't omit the other characters from
Exactly.
that. But whatever. I mean,
Whatever, yeah.
I'm fine
Small
with it.
gripe.
Yeah. Plus, how they made it a point that Tony found an actual physical, or like, based in physics and scientific way to time travel.
Yeah.
But then they ignored all the actual like rules of
Rules
time
of it,
travel.
yeah.
It's
Like,
like-
"Ah, it's whatever.
yeah.
We got stuff to do.
We'll ignore that part.
We'll keep jumping around.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when they were fighting him, he was just kicking their ass without the gauntlet.
Yep.
And I was like, I didn't get that impression when I watched Infinity War, because Infinity War, they all kind of, granted they had did the element of surprise and they just kicked his ass, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's, for Infinity War, I think he had the ability to take them all on by himself, but because he had the stones, he didn't
want to.
Yeah, like, he didn't need to waste the energy and effort because he has the stones, so he might as well use all of it.
Might as well kill them all, man.
Yeah.
Like, go full for it. So,
Yeah.
but that was really good. And then what else? I liked when Captain Marvel came back and like just destroyed that ship, just demolished it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was the one thing it took me a minute to kind of understand, because like the Thanos' ship started firing up into space and everyone's like, what's out there? And then we saw the big yellow beam of light, and my initial reaction was it was Vision, like using his head beam thing. And I'm like, oh, he's back. I'm like, sweet. And then it got bigger and bigger and then went through the ship. I'm like, hold up. Like, that's
Wait a
not what he
sec.
does.
Yeah.
And-
Well, the second I saw that, I was like, oh, there she is, because I didn't realize that she wasn't in the movie. Until
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you kinda
majority
forget
of it.
about her.
Yeah, which is okay, because granted, with that being said, with this movie, so first off, with the end credits, have you ever seen this is an embarrassing question. Have you ever seen Twilight? Like the last Twilight movie?
I've seen the first one. That was it.
So in the last Twilight movie, I seen, because they're so bad, and they're cringeworthy. But at the very end of it, they do the exact same thing with the credits of this movie, where like they have like the actor's name, and then it has like different like slow motion stuff going throughout it. So the whole time I was watching like the end credits, I was like, this is totally Twilight right now. Just like really like a really shitty Ed Sheeran song should just be on right now. But I thought this was really funny with that. But where was I going with this?
End credits.
Oh, at the very, very end. Obviously, I'm guessing you stayed, right?
I did not, because I heard that there was no
There's nothing.
after credits, but I know that there was like the sound of Tony hammering the first suit.
Yeah.
So I know that I didn't stay for it.
And
Though.
that's what I was going to talk about. I think that's what that is. It's just a callback to the original.
yeah. I don't think
OG
it's. I
Iron
don't think
Man.
it's leading into
But a lot of
anything.
people are like, oh, it could be someone making a new suit.
No.
And I'm like, I don't. I don't
They
really
wouldn't
buy
do it with a
that.
hammer if Tony's tech already exists.
Exactly. So I do see a future Iron Man or an Iron Heart or someone of those sorts coming into the movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's where I was going with it. I don't know where these movies are going now. I'll see.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't care. Like, I
Exactly.
know Far From Home was coming out, and now we know, Tony's not obviously going to be in it.
I think Far From Home happens after. A lot of people are like, oh, it's before. But I'm like, I don't.
they wouldn't-
Even in the trailer,
that'd be
you've seen the
stupid.
trailer, right?
Yeah.
When he looks at the suit, he's like kind of upset about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do it because
Yeah.
I think he's still remorsing and just not. He's just kind of dealing with Tony being dead.
Yeah.
Especially on the check that Happy has, it just says Pepper Potts for the signature for Stark Industries.
Yeah, I saw
So-
that. Before Endgame came out, I just took that as because Pepper's the one running the company.
Exactly.
So I didn't read into that.
But I just think it's afterwards. And
Oh yeah,
everything like
it has to, because if they do something before, it's just it's stupid, because that
Yeah.
means it's part of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
But that's
No,
done.
just
It's
do
like
it after.
yeah,
Let's-
because if it were before, no matter what he does in the movie, doesn't change the previous story.
I am excited for Far From Home. because I like Spider-Man a lot. I actually, and we talked about this, but I enjoyed Homecoming a lot.
Yeah.
Despite Spider-Verse being a better Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
That
Easily.
a mile, but it looks great. I'm excited for Mysterio, and
Yeah, I do. I am looking forward to Mysterio.
Yeah,
He's
even though
he's a fun character.
I try and like these Spider-Man films. I should treat them more separate because they're technically Sony with Marvel Studios, and they don't like to connect. And they kind of messed up the whole time jump thing from the first one. You remember? I was like 9 years later or whatever at the beginning of Homecoming.
Oh. No. 9 years later.
At the beginning of Homecoming, they had the Tatari ship, and it's
Oh, okay, yeah.
So and they're like talking, it's whatever. It's the first OG Avengers, and then it's like, was it 7 or 9 years later, something like that?
I don't remember the number, but yeah,
and it's like
they're still doing cleanup.
Yeah, they're still trying to like, that's not true, shut up. So I feel like there's gonna be some disconnect there between both the companies, but
Yeah, probably, but
back to this movie. I just. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, speaking of the OG Avengers movie and time, I like how they it was subtle, but they addressed the fact of what the Mystic Arts people are doing during that first Avengers movie.
Yeah,
it's like they're in their little home protecting and like doing their own thing.
Because they're actually helping.
Yeah,
I think she was blowing up ships or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, well, I know it's like they're kind of backstepping and saying doing it after fact, but the fact that they addressed it helps. And I didn't realize Doctor Strange happened so far after all those movies.
Yeah, because it takes him a while to get. I think it was like 5 years. I haven't seen Doctor Strange in a hot minute because it's okay.
I liked it, but I that's just because I like the character and his powers. I'm not saying that the movie itself was phenomenal, but
I need to watch it again soon. I might have to do that. But I like him in the Infinity War. And
he's way better in those.
He's way more fleshed out and stuff like that. But I think it was interesting, and they had some nice connecting things. Again, it's not all perfect by any means, like with every time jump thing.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. I thought it was really funny seeing Star-Lord dancing around and stuff.
Without the music.
Which I think there was a couple shots that were new, and I'm pretty sure they were probably like outtakes from the original like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can see that, yeah.
So them just like, just putting that in because there's so much footage from it, probably.
Yeah, because it's definitely something that's kind of what I was saying earlier about. I wonder if they,
Avengers,
because I can definitely see them before reshooting anything, just going back because they always have multiple angles of everything because they. When they're editing it, they might want a different angle on something. So I could definitely, like with the Star-Lord one, I can definitely see them shooting something from a distance away, like what they did here, and then just comping in War Machine and Nebula in this movie.
Well, obviously the scene where they punch him, that's new.
Oh, well, yeah. They didn't, unless they planned, far enough ahead than that. Yeah, that was definitely new. But
also, I'm a little surprised more people didn't die. If I'm being completely honest.
Yeah,
I
feel like if they killed off too many big characters, it wouldn't have been as
and they got franchises to pump out
that too. But just for this movie's sake, because it makes sense why they killed off one of the originals aside from Tony being Black Widow. Because that was halfway through the movie, maybe a little sooner. So there was that moment, and then. That kind of set up things. It's like, okay, there's actual stakes now. Yep. I think if they killed off too many, like if they started killing off a bunch of Wakandan people and,
those people are safe.
Like if Pepper died and then if someone else died and Spider-Man died, like then when Tony died, no one would have really cared because that would have been like, no, okay, well, everyone's dying, so might as well kill him off too. But I think because he was the one that died.
Yeah. Speaking of, when Happy was talking to his daughter, to Tony's daughter.
Yeah, the cheeseburger.
And she's like, I was like, why am I getting emotional about cheeseburgers? Because it's like the first thing. Because
when he got rescued.
Back, he's like, I need a cheeseburger.
Yeah, because that's kind of a fun scene where he's sitting down in the podium and just pulls a cheeseburger from McDonald's out of his pocket or whatever.
Actually, it was Burger King.
Was it?
Of all places, I would not want Burger King. I remember watching a video like, of all places, when you get back, why would you go to fast food? Of all places, too, Burger King. Ugh. No offense. If you like Burger King, by all means, live your life. And we're not... What?
You said you're wrong.
You're wrong. What if we get sponsored by Burger King? After hearing this, like, well...
Well, then we'll backpedal a lot.
We're like, oh, they're the best. See, that was past me being stupid. So, I don't know. I do. I just again, I like how it wrapped everything up beautifully.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's next, and I don't think there's any films scheduled for next year. Granted,
Nothing official, like announced.
yeah,
You know that
I
there's
think
movies, but
Black Widow's going to start filming this summer.
Yeah.
So I think next year will be no Marvel films. That'd be weird though. No Marvel films and no Star Wars films, 'cause there's nothing planned for next year.
yeah,
Right?
I'm totally fine if they don't, but
Yeah.
I doubt that's what's going to happen. I'm
Unless they
positive
ban-
something on Disney Plus is going to release.
Well, Disney Plus. will.
Besides the stuff that's already
Yes,
coming.
Disney Plus will take full effect next year for the Star Wars and Marvel game.
Yeah.
I think movies, they're done
theater.
for a year. Take a little break
That'd be good.
because nothing's filmed and they're not going to pump out. Even if they start filming something in the summertime and it finishes in like
November
November.
or earlier probably.
yeah,
because I
October,
think
September, it
Yeah.
doesn't take too long
not to film.
to film.
Yeah,
But I don't think they can pump out a film that quickly. And
Not
if
a good one.
anything, it'll be the end of next year, but nothing for summer or before that.
I could see them. So if they film Black Widow, and if it's like a prequel thing or something,
Yeah.
I could see them busting that out by next year
Mm-hmm.
because there's not a ton of like super CGI characters in that, so
Yeah.
they're not going to need to spend the money and time like creating Iron Man or Hulk or
Yeah.
anything because it's like that would just be kind of a dramatic action movie.
This might be just a tangent of me, but I think they're like 5 years too late with making
Black
Black
Widow,
Widow.
yeah.
It's like you had your chance. Should
Yeah.
have done it then.
Yeah.
Like just not make Thor 2.
Yeah. I saw a comment on, I think it was Reddit or something. It's like, even the Avengers needed a recap from Thor 2.
It's like, what was that? I did like the scene with, again, that's another really cool thing. It's just with Thor and his mom and how that just kind of, I don't know if she necessarily like inspired him, but
Yeah,
It was kind
that
of
goes
a
back to my
turning point.
complaint about Fat Thor. Because
Yeah.
like even after that, he was still kind of mopey. Like
Yeah.
he picked it up once the actual
happened.
fighting started. But yeah, everything before that, it was just like, come on. It's like,
where are they going to
Get
go with
over it.
that? Is he going to be in the next Guardians then?
that's what it looks like, but I don't know.
I think he'll be in it for like a little bit and
like
then go off to do
that's
his own
that's
thing.
what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't need more Thor as a comedic element character
Wow.
anymore.
But he's going to be.
Yeah. What I do hope, because like I said, all the previous times we've talked about this, I don't necessarily want any more Marvel movies right away.
Yeah,
I want a
same.
nice long break.
Yeah.
But they're obviously going to make some. I'm hoping that we see more Hulk in movies because
Yeah.
now that he's like Professor Hulk, it's like I'm a little more interested.
Mm-hmm.
And because what you mentioned, we didn't see him get to fight, so I'm wondering if he's still as strong, or because he's not angry,
Yeah.
if he's not as strong, or if it's like he can turn the anger on again, and it's like how that whole thing works.
I'm intrigued to see who the new Avengers will be because obviously they're going to make another Avengers film.
Yeah,
And then
it's probably going to be
it'll be like 5 years.
his daughter, Tony's daughter,
I can see
Morgan.
that being as Ironheart. It's like what I was saying earlier. It's
Yeah.
just having a female because there is a. Oh, can we talk about that?
What?
At
Which
the
one?
wedding. At the wedding. There's a wedding. No, at the funeral. At the very end.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the kid from Iron Man 3? Just
Yeah,
chilling like I'm like no
Why
one
are-
says
yeah,
anything
yeah.
about it. They're just
like
like
shout out to
"Yeah."
you. You just snuck into the funeral.
Yeah, I'm like God, he turned ugly. I hated that kid. I did not like that kid in Iron Man 3.
I liked his purpose in the movie, but yeah, the
what
Iron Man
hate
3 itself, like,
Wait, how do you feel about Iron Man 3? Do you not like it or you like it or?
I don't know. I liked the direction they tried. I liked how they addressed his human side and how he has like PTSD from the aliens and all that.
Yeah.
I wanted them to go into that more. The execution was a little iffy.
Yeah.
And like the argument I always hear is that the problem with Iron Man 3 is there's no Iron Man and then there's too much Iron Man.
Yeah.
I actually did like the end scene just because
Yeah.
of how
was cool.
how crazy it was and that we got to see a ton of different suits. I wish some of them he would have gone in so we can see a little more of
Yeah.
like their abilities. But I didn't like the villain Killian or whatever his name was. That was stupid. He breathes fire. It's like I get his character does that in the comics or
Yeah.
whatever, but you've changed other parts of the comics.
Well-
Change that. It's like that's so stupid.
I'll tell you this: it was a much more enjoyable watch recently, like rewatching it, because I was like, "Oh, it's not too bad." It was enjoyable at parts. And
Okay.
I like the airplane scene where he has to save all the people. Like,
Yeah,
when
that
they're
was-
falling.
that was cool.
That's like probably the best scene besides the ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was just really weird. They just plucked him and put him right there
Yep.
at the very
Like
end.
out of all the characters, and then Nick Fury is dead last, and he gets like 2 seconds of screen time. Doesn't have any
which is
lines.
okay. But I like in the trailer, I'm intrigued. In the trailer for Far From Home, he's like, "It's finally nice to meet you, Spider-Man." I'm like, "You met him at the funeral. You guys were chilling at the same place."
What's up with that?
Explain that. Explain that, America.
maybe Nick Fury. Maybe nobody knew he was there. That's why he was in the back. He just snuck in, stuck back to the kitchen, grabbed a sandwich, and booked it out. Yeah,
Boogied out of there.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that until now.
Yeah. Also, it didn't get spoiled by any means, but at the premiere, they were talking to Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow,
Yeah. Yeah. And she was like, there's just a really nice scene when we're all at a lake with people from different galaxies and stuff. And then someone's like, "Are you supposed to say that?" She's like, "Is that a spoiler?" I'm like, "Shut the hell up!"
Don't say anything.
It didn't like ruin anything for me.
No, yeah.
I was like, "Oh, probably at some point they're all gonna hang out, like at some point, or some like flashback or something." But then at the end, I was like, "This is the scene."
Yeah. Yep. That was a good scene. How they had his first arc reactor and they just pushed it out on the lake. Yeah. I'm hoping in Far From Home there's like a opening scene or something with like a memorial to him in like Times Square or something like that.
It will. Sticking to my guns, I think it's happening after Endgame.
Yeah. It has to.
Yeah.
Just to make everything flow.
It's gonna be interesting to see the pickup from it, because like even when like Scott was walking around, there's like trash and stuff all over like the streets and whatnot. How people who came back from the snap are gonna be able to
like adjust.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess for them it was only a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of reappeared. Everyone else, it's like 5 years later, they got no idea what's going on. I was wondering, what do they do with all those stones that they resurrected? Or
probably
they
get rid of them.
Yeah, they're just like, time to tear these down.
Yeah, right. This is uncomfortable. They'll probably, I don't know, I could see them like leaving them up too. It's like a little thing. It's like,
or like maybe
to remember
taking them down, but leave one up to cover it all.
Yeah.
And then some other things I heard was like, well, I wonder about all the people coming back now to find out their husband or wife remarried.
Yeah, right.
Had a new kid.
It's like,
There's this show, I think it's called the 4400. It's been off for a while. I don't even remember what channel it originally aired on, but
was that
one
CW? No,
it's not very good, so probably. But that one, it's this plane or something, or 4,400 people around the Earth just vanished at some like in their timeline, and they all came back at the same day.
Yeah.
And that addressed kind of that thing where people, like one of the main characters went to her house and, she was the same age, but everyone else is aged up. And like her husband opens the door and she's like, "Oh my God, Mary," or whatever your name is. And she's like, "Hi." And then he's like, "Oh, hey, non." Yeah. He's like, "Hey, non." And he goes and like his new wife comes out and he's like, "Yeah, I remarried. Like you were gone." And then he just tells her to like get out.
See ya, bitch.
Wow. But yeah, that was that.
Yeah,
but
didn't like Fox or NBC recently have a similar show with like a plane going missing? And
yeah, that one. I think that one.
Ideas.
Yeah, that one was. That wasn't the same show, was it? I don't think so.
I don't know.
But yeah, that one was like, a plane goes missing and they all come back and then everyone's aged differently, but nobody else has. Yeah, time travel is a fun thing for networks.
That's why I have a hard time watching shows like Doctor Who and stuff like that, because I'm just like, it gets too crazy. Not too crazy, but just like, I don't know. There has to be some set of rules or consistency at least with all of it.
Which like is my thing with Endgame. It's like, I get that it's essentially different realities in a sense. Like it's different. What's it called? Like time. I don't know. Not time zones.
Time zone.
It's like. So it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. When they go back in time, it's not their time that they're going back in. They're going to a different reality's time that is that present time. So it's like that's kind of what happened in Endgame, or so I thought. But then Captain America had to go back and put the time stones back in their place.
So a steady stream of events will still happen.
So it's a little confusing on how that whole thing worked. But
I wonder if we'll ever get to know or see or like have any reference to Cap's days.
I was wondering about that too. Like, did he continue to be Captain America, or did he?
I don't know.
Like, retire from the army?
He probably did. He probably did stuff like help find S.H.I.E.L.D. still, because obviously Peggy and Howard were like key to those actual things, or to it to being actual group organization. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he had any helping in that, and I wonder if they're going to call back to it at all. Again, you don't have to, but like I'm just curious to see going forward if they're going to call back on certain things. Obviously, they're going to talk about Endgame in every movie. Like not every movie, but like at least the first couple, they're going to reference back to it, the events of it. But,
yeah, I could definitely see it like whatever next set of Avengers it is. Like I don't think they would do it obviously in Homecoming, but at some point Shield, like new Shield or whatever, is going to be talking to some new character.
Yeah.
And they're just going to like throw out just a reference and be like, oh yeah, we're Shield. It's like, yeah, we're the people that were founded by, like Nick Fury, and then before that, Captain America and all that.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a real quick one-liner.
Well, yeah. I totally agree with that. And then back with that, going forward, I feel like with Gamora and Star-Lord, now it hasn't been really resolved or by any means like
That's
fully fleshed out. I feel like going forward that she's going to come back somehow, some way, or they're going to like, that might be the next mission is them trying to save Gamora, or like a side story of some sort. But I would like to see that because I liked when Gamora and Star-Lord were talking at the final battle.
Yeah.
And I was like,
she was like, this is the one.
yeah. I was like, oh, it's so sad because everyone gets their moment together with stuff, but I just wish that the real Gamora, like his Gamora, was still able. But also, when they snapped, what happened to Gamora and Nebula? 2014. Gamora and Nebula.
Oh, I think they
disappeared.
I think they just left.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, because I don't think I don't think Tony snapped them away.
No,
because,
he just snapped.
Yeah,
Thanos.
just the Thanos and his army.
Also, how did he choose who he was snapping?
So I've been thinking about that too. I think it's one of those things like when you have the stones, you just know what to
you
do.
want to kill or whomever.
You just like having that power. You just know how to do it because if you remember when Hulk had the glove for the first re-snap,
yeah.
There was a line later on where he like said he's like, I tried to bring her back, like I tried as hard as I could.
Gotcha.
So it's like he definitely was fully aware of what he was doing.
I thought that was before because wasn't he on?
It was after he snapped.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was talking to. Who was he talking to? Maybe Cap. I think he was talking to Cap. And yeah, he just kind of leaned over and he's like, I tried to bring that back.
Yeah.
He's like, I tried as hard as I could, but I couldn't do it.
So
maybe it was Hawkeye. No, he was talking to someone, but yeah,
it was Hawkeye and it was just there were like four of them because it was like Cap, Hawkeye, Hulk, and then somebody else.
Yeah.
They were just all venting about it.
Ant-Man should have died when he was standing at the window.
Yeah, right? I thought he was going to die.
Yeah, like he just got obliterated.
Yeah.
And like there's no way Scott Lang's reactions are quick enough to shrink
as
the glass
as
exploded.
He was getting hit, he just
yeah, you could see him shrink, but it's like
geez.
there's no way he would have survived that.
Yeah. I don't know if they're ever going to make another Ant-Man. I'd be okay if they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, if he shows up at some point as a cameo later on, sure, but
I
don't
the
need
team
another
up stuff, and I like him and Wasp joining for something. You can do that, but not necessarily a whole film.
When all the characters were coming through the portals, right before the big fight scene, everyone in the theater was cheering for each set. Like when Black Panther and the Wakanda people came out, everyone was freaking out. Spider-Man swung in, everyone cheered. Wasp walks out, dead silence. It's like nobody cared. Yeah, like nobody cared.
Yeah, I liked when when Wasp and Ant-Man we're back together kind of thing. And I was like, I want everyone to get their sex, please. The romantic sex. Everyone, please. But yeah, so you have anything else to talk about? Spoilers?
I'm trying to think. I think I've got some notes here and I think we pretty much went through all this stuff. Yeah, I just know it 100% see the movie.
Yeah, well, that and don't tell people shit.
No, yeah.
Stop.
Wait. Like if you're gonna tell someone, if you want to talk about spoilers to anyone, make sure they've seen it.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone around you has seen it. It's like,
rude.
so yeah, like when we went to the movie, we went out to eat afterwards, and we were like sitting at the table, but we were still like kind of whispering this stuff because we knew people around us might want to see it. We didn't know. Yeah, like we weren't gonna be those dill holes just shouting out stuff. It's like, oh, it's really sad what happened to Iron Man.
Yeah, it's like, God, why do you have to be such a dick? Like you can, I don't know, just you can't unknow or unhear something like that. It's just like, what do you do?
Yeah,
it ruins that fact because I feel like this is something which I'm very glad even Marvel's like, don't spoil this damn movie. Just let it be. Don't be a jerk. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, they did great with the trailer. So if you've seen the trailer, you don't know anything about the movie. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, you know certain characters are in it, but
Yeah. Also,
well, I
welcome-
guess if you're listening to us talk about this right now,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I was about to say, welcome back if you
Yeah.
to our non-spoiler part of the show. So
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Like, go see it if you haven't. I mean, even though you know what's happening,
I wanna go see it
it's
again.
still worth watching. Yeah, go see it
damn
again.
well.
I'm gonna go see it again. We already bought our tickets. So.
I'm gonna see if I can go Tuesday because it's cheaper. And
Yeah.
it's right there. So, but yeah, next week. Well, that wraps up this show, I guess. But next week, what are we talking about? You want to talk about anything in particular?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, we
We
might.
talked about Disney, that we're going to do a Disney episode soon, but things keep coming up. Game of Thrones,
and I
this.
mean, yeah, we kind of touched on the Disney stuff with like the shows and
and
like
we'll-
we didn't really get into Star Wars or anything, but we can do that in the
when
future.
we talk about Disney, though, we're going to talk about just things in general,
yeah.
parks, everything. We're
Yeah.
going to go into
how they need to
different
calm the
sections.
hell down.
Yeah, that, and they're about to acquire Comcast.
Yep. That's buying everything.
Wow,
They're
is
gonna
that,
own the world.
Like, should it? I don't know. I'm not.
There should. Yes, I know what you're
Okay.
going for. And yeah, so I
I feel like there's some laws that say you can't do this.
yeah,
but
no, I watch like a ton of kind of like investor related news
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And like I know at one point, this was I think just after the Disney Fox deal.
Yeah.
Like after it was official, because I know they've been working on it forever. I think Bloomberg was talking. They had a guy on. They were part of the I don't remember what it was a government organization.
yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but he was talking essentially about how they want to start kind of an not investigation, but kind of an auditing
Keep an
thing.
eye out.
Yeah, about what triggered it was the Disney Fox merger, because they're like, all right, this is getting a little out of hand, so we need to make sure that you guys are not monopolizing, which they kind of already are, already
They
have.
are, yeah. Which I don't know why this now it's like, oh, maybe you should
I think it's
keep an eye out.
yeah, I think it's just a snowball effect, and it like with the Disney Fox thing, just because they're both such giant companies.
Yeah.
That once that became official and they realized kind of what it was, they're like, all right, now we have to go back and look at the previous ones to
Yep.
make sure everything's
Which
cool.
side note, Disney's very so smart because they got Lucasfilm and Marvel for so cheap
Yeah, I think it
for
was
what it
like
was.
$4 billion each or something like that.
Stupid
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, they're gonna make back that deal with just this movie alone.
Yeah. Well, and I know
Almost.
we briefly talked about it in the first like 5 minutes, but this movie broke the record for the fastest to $1 billion, which it took 3 days, three or 4 days maybe. Not even. It's
Yeah,
Sunday.
I think 3. Yeah.
Oh my god.
If they're
Well,
counting
Thursday.
yeah, well, if they're counting on the pre-ticket
Yeah.
sales for the rest of today, then
Yeah, it's
a
the,
weekend.
the fastest to $1 billion,
Yep.
and then it broke. They were like, which I think last week I did say I could see it making 300 million domestically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I don't look about that later, but it made 350.
Yeah.
And it broke. Everyone's like, oh, it'll get like 280, which again, that's a lot of money. And
No,
I'm
yeah,
just
I-
like it won't break the record. Spoilers, it did.
It broke every record.
yeah.
And
now it has the chance to be Avatar and Titanic, which I would love.
Oh,
from anything.
yeah. I'd love if
James-
Titanic. And, yeah.
I know we talked about Avatar, but
yeah.
I personally feel like this movie is probably more deserving
Oh
for
yeah,
that title.
no, yeah, and like, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it when we talked about Avatar. It's like I like the movie. I don't think it deserves to be number one in
No,
any sense.
Exactly, and that's my argument. It's a good movie. Like it's okay at parts, and it is again. We talked about how it's a rip off of Pocahontas,
Yeah.
but it does not deserve number one.
No.
And I can't. I was just looking at it today, but I didn't realize that Titanic's still number 2.
Yep.
I thought that they jumped, and then I think under that is Force Awakens and or Infinity War. They switched their flip flop.
I just looked. I think it's Force Awakens first, then Infinity War, and then I want to say it's another Star Wars right under that.
Yeah,
Like the
Last Jedi maybe.
yeah, because I know that made a ton, even though
well, like it, yeah. This movie's gonna make so much money,
yeah.
and I'm okay with it. So
And I looked it up. I was reading this morning in China, which is always a huge
market.
yeah, for especially superhero movies. It was projected to make, I want to say 250 to 280 over the entire weekend. It made over 100 million just in the first day.
That's
so
crazy.
it broke. Yeah, it went and then it went on past that to make over 300 million.
Yeah.
over the entire weekend.
That's
I think 350
nuts.
even.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much that made, and it totally deserves it. It's the best Marvel.
it
ever.
is. Get out of here. Every other.
It's long, but it's worth it.
It's worth. It doesn't even feel like 3 hours
Yeah.
to me. I loved every second of it. I would watch. I want to go see it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's how I felt about Infinity War. I'm like, I need to see it. That, and I like seeing audience reactions to
Yep,
things. That's an experience.
Yeah, that's the one reason I go to theaters. I don't go because I like paying $40 for popcorn and water.
Yeah. I spent so much money.
Because like that's what I was saying. Like when I cheered at Cap picking up the hammer, and then the entire row next to me freaked out, and like everyone in the theater was cheering. I'm just like, yeah, this is the great, and that's the primary reason why I wanted to go again, and why I'm going so soon after it release, just because I want
closer to
see
everyone else,
and I want fresh people to be in that theater.
Yep. So yeah, that's Avengers Endgame. We'll probably talk a little bit about next week if anything pops up, maybe some second viewing thoughts.
Yeah.
But next week
we'll give you an update on how much you made.
Well, first off, that, and tonight is the episode for Game of Thrones. It's the Battle of Winterfell, and I need to get hyped for that because this weekend is just
I was gonna say this weekend is all our characters are dying.
Yeah.
And then also
some Starks are gonna die tonight. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, Starks both days of the week.
Sorry, guys.
And then what kind of hit me earlier was that 2019 is the year of like final chapters, because we got Star Wars, Marvel,
Game of Thrones,
and there's probably something else, but
there's something else I can think of, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah,
I saw the trailer for Lion King in the theater. I have to go see it
Isn't
in
that
theaters
amazing?
now. Just for the music and the sound alone.
Yeah.
Like I can get behind the animation and all that because it looks cool and like Simba's
great.
adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
I love
hearing
Pumbaa. I don't know why I love
Pumbaa and Timon bouncing back and forth.
I'm like, this is what I want.
Great. Yeah.
And that's why. Well, after this weekend, I was like, there's no way Lion King's gonna beat it. But never count out Disney.
Yeah.
Disney, especially a Disney original, especially stupid ass remake, especially that stupid ass Beauty and the Beast movie. I did not like it. We'll talk more about that with Disney.
Yeah.
I will go to a huge tangent because I did not like that film at all. It sucked. It was very plain to me.
I skipped that one. I saw Jungle Book, and I liked Jungle Book.
Jungle Book is great.
Yeah. So I'm hoping Lion King is like that. But.
Yeah, and I know it will. Jon Favreau is just not God, but
he's got to be like a billionaire. I know he's not, but the steps he's taken
he started
for Disney.
MCU,
yeah, exactly.
And Jungle Book now, and then
and
he's going to reinvent Star Wars here in a couple months.
So it's like what he's done for Disney. He's like definitely one of those higher up.
That, and they should probably give a blank check and say, do whatever.
Yeah, just make something.
Yeah, do something, man. So, but we'll talk more about that next week. We'll talk about Game of Thrones, a little recap. So we'll see soon, either next week or the week after. We'll do our full-on Disney episode, which we might as well just do next week. We'll see. We'll look at it.
We've done a lot of Disney recently, so we'll see.
But
we might take a break just like Marvel should.
Yeah, but I want to more talk about just like parks, behind the scenes stuff, my experience. Yeah, because Disney is just Disney. Everyone knows that.
It's no longer just a media company. It's a conglomeration of
that's a good
everything.
word. I can't even say that word. So, all right. So, thanks for tuning in to Goober Talks. My name is Justin.
I'm Gavin,
and we're gonna go cry and watch Avengers Endgame soon.
Yep.
And Game of Thrones for that matter. So, see you later.